There's a new fighting league. Well, oh, is that the way I want to say it? There's a new league where they're going to fight like a hockey fight, but there's not hockey around it. So they're going to go out on the ice, and they're going to have the attire of a hockey player. And what they got 3 judges, 2 referees to step in and break it up. 90-second rounds, 1 minute off in between rounds. I mean, I'm doing the best I can to tell you what's going to happen. Dave Feldman is attached to it, who knows about promoting, who knows about building. Do they have something here? It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because if you say yes, I'm going to challenge you with what? What do they have? And same thing happens if you say no. I go, why would you not see that? You don't like hockey? You don't like fighting? There's something inside of each of us that can be hard to explain. First time I found myself in this spot, there's a guy, and in the world of wrestling, this guy is now famous. His name is Otto Olsen. Wrestled out of Everett, Washington, ended up in Ann Arbor, multiple-time All-American for the Wolverines. Entered Abu Dhabi, didn't even enter any jiu-jitsu tournaments, entered Abu Dhabi with no jiu-jitsu background, and made the finals. All right. But Otto, when we were kids, we're in the same locker room, we're in the same bracket. At some point in the day, we both know we're going to run into each other. So I'm not friends with him. I didn't say hi or welcome him to town, but I am sitting there and I am observing him. He's in a conversation with somebody completely different. And it was about a hockey game that they had seen the night before. And it was awesome. This game was awesome. There was 2 fights and there was almost a third. It was awesome. The friend keeps talking about, oh man, I saw that same game. That was awesome. Those guys were fighting. There was almost a third fight. Did you see that? Oh, that would have been awesome. And I remember sitting there, left out of the conversation, observing these two, and thinking, there's something called the UFC. And you must not know about it. Because in the UFC, it's not maybe a fight will break out, or you have a guarantee of 2 and a chance of 3. It is absolutely for sure there will be a fight. And at this period of time, was this in 93? We were sophomores in high school, somewhere around this period of time. And it was like, he must not know about the UFC because he keeps on talking about this hockey and how much he enjoyed it. Man, these are 4-hour games for what he ended up getting 2 fights. Felt like he got his money's worth. Damn near got a 3rd fight. So if I could go introduce myself and explain to him, and I could tell him about this thing out there, and I don't have a smartphone. There's nothing called Twitter and Facebook. Like, it's going to be kind of hard. He can't just go home and bring this up on the television. He's going to have to go down to a select few video stores. I'm smarting him up on where to go and buy this thing called Ultimate Fighting Championship. And he's going to have to put it in. But based on what I'm hearing about how awesome 2 fights and almost a 3rd was, so I never did it. I never explained it to him. But I remember having that thought. And I left influenced by their conversation, of which I wasn't part of, but I overheard. And it took a few years. In fact, I was all the way through college. So now it's like 8 years later. Got my own job, got my own money, making a few of my own decisions, and I go buy season tickets to something called the Winterhawks, which is the semi-pro hockey team we have here in Oregon. And I went down there repeatedly. I mean, I bought the season tickets, and they were the good ones. They were right by the box that they put them in. And man, if I went 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, I can tell you one thing about all the times. I never made it. It was so painfully boring to watch these men covered in Kevlar. But for the life of me, I could not figure out why they had all these pads on. Anyway, they're skating up and down the ice, and there was a chance that something was going to go bad, and that their version of a fight, not a fight, not by any standard and or definition of a fight, but their version of a fight could break out. And I remember thinking, I wonder where Otto's at today. I wonder if in all of these years, here I am at hockey based on a conversation I overheard him and his friend having. I wonder if he has discovered the UFC yet. And so now we got this hockey. We got this hockey thing coming. They're going to fight on ice. They're going to have on hockey clothing. They're going to start it the way that a hockey fight would start. They're going to give them 90 seconds. They're going to judge the thing in case they need to. And I'm wondering, what's the market? What fan are you going to have? I have a friend who cares about hockey. I text that friend this morning, would you watch that? Are you the market? An avid, diehard hockey guy that loves when a fight breaks out, loves the olden era of the enforcer. He said, absolutely not. I said, but I thought you loved hockey. He said, I do. I said, but I thought you loved when they got in fights in hockey. You know, I know all of a sudden he's an older guy and he was a prude about it. And he said, Chael, it's hard for me to explain, but that's organic. When an escalation over the game of hockey escalates to a level of a fight that is accepted and willing to be done by the participants involved with multi-mechanisms of safety surrounding it, that's a hockey fight. Two guys going onto ice trying to hurt one another is a fight designed to look like hockey. And this is how he explained it to me. And I would just be curious. I don't know. If Feldman is involved, it's going to be done right. If Feldman is involved, I want it to be a success. But as a fellow promoter, I'll share with you, I don't have the balls to go first. I don't know how I would bill that. I don't know how I would market that. I don't know who I'm billing that or marketing that to. I don't know. But let's say it's packed. I mean, let's say this becomes the next big thing. Where does that end? We have guys fight on basketball courts. We have guys fight on football fields. Do they have to be basketball players? Do they have to be football players? Can they be real fighters, but they put on a pair of tennis shoes? It's interesting. There is something about us innately that looks, they got this thing going on. Is it Russia? And it's car fighting and they seatbelt each other in. Someone yells go and they beat the heck out of each other. And I don't know if you're allowed to ever unseatbelt. Like it's just strange. And I don't know what their numbers are or what level of business it's doing. I just know I saw it as recently as 3 days ago, and I saw it the first time closer to 5 years ago. So there's some level of sustainability. So what do you guys think? Going to be hockey fights, or at least fights designed to resemble hockey. Are you in or are you out?